depression is real,
it's
man.
real, yeah.
Yabona lento le ukuthi bazokutshela ukuthi hayiqina uyindoda abanga lawo because mina mayingidla lento le ngidla ngaphakathi one man wena ukho you don't know what I'm going through.
Can say that again.
You understand? Mangafonela umtshali manje ngithi mtshali ngicela 1000 ngiyazi makanayo uzongipha but for the mere fact ukuthi akanayo kokubonisa ukuthi ku rough. You understand?
And makakutshela ukuthi akanayo so uyazisola nokuthi
ngikhulumele uyazi mfethu esikhathe ngoDecember basebenzi kangaka basilande following year nge11 zaka January ngeWednesday ngo1 o'clock in the fucking morning. What?
Ngilele ngathi nama criminal serious ngilanda ngo1 ekuseni
ngingashaya nokushaya irume ekasi ngisala lapha phakathi endlini ngilele ekamereni lami ngaphakathi yo ngizwe ngomnyango lafu keep his palm yabona I'm like what this guy comes and says shushu ngicela isithombe ngidano ngiyazwakala ngisagawula mfethu ngicela isithombe sabza kanti manje kwenza so now he wants to play dialogue with me ukuthi ngathi sesiyalwa Ngimara uthi ngiyakawula bra
sabza
yabo no sabza utshela ukuthi uslim ngathi okay yabona ke manje this is where I'm throwing my toys out of the cart because now I was hungry respect but whatever happened that day was history so it's just about discipline ungawani bekumnandi
Lochana is sharp ngedlisa nathi kulonarha siziragela phambili.
I'm very impressed with what you're trying to do.
Mina ngithandela utshwala.
Nathi singama community omphakathi. Usiphosile? Uyasijoya fusathina.
Journalists have been asking me what happened between you and Somizi. It's a good day to have a happy day.
Happy Days on podcast. It's always a good day to have a happy day. Uplomeno siphiwa kamtshali umagalela gas umantshinga. Ngiphethe steering. Aw Ishmael Songo.
Mina ngibiza wena steering nawe ubiza
steering who? Uyazi molo ukungena kulezi zinto uba steering.
Too much pressure. Thanks ngiyabonga.
Thank you so much. Siyabonga ukuthi uvuma ukusivakashela mfethu. Kunjani kaphileka?
No kaphileka mfethu. It's always an honor to meet you again, Charlie, first of all. But nonetheless, it's been a minute.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute. Mfana asiqala iqala khona. Who were you born and how did you end up ungena kulezi zinto lezi? Awuzi nje nayo ungidlalele yona kancane.
Oh, okay. Mine is pretty simple. I was born in Charlotte Maxeka.
Okay.
Abanye bayazi ngisho Hospital Hospital. Mother was a kitchen girl, father was a cutting boy.
Thank you.
Yeah. So happened ukuthi nabo throughout hustle yabo when I was about 2 years we moved to HO's CBD.
Okay.
Yeah. So most of my childhood life was 8 rateni zasemafletini HO's.
Serious?
Yeah, HO's HO's.
Like when you say into this HO's or
no, not as Lupayo. Like we play on the streets, football, obviously at the right time.
Yeah.
During the day, Josie is what it is. I'm going to speak some takes and whatnot. But for me, it's home. Then, I Josie.
So how long did you stay there for?
At the age of 15,
Okay.
So you can say from the age of 2 to the age of 15.
So wait. So CBD nje kusho ngangishayela yona uvala mehlo.
Mfethu asiki straight engasazi. Mina I know mawalahlekele Josie ngizothi what do you see?
Yabona?
Yeah, i-tracking is visa from Esawa enzansi eBree because mina bengisekhona cheap in Harrison.
Yeah.
From Esawa enzansi from Bree i-rank in fact.
Yeah.
Khuphuka ke le north kubisela zona kanje.
I know so. And I used to always ask myself, good, ingcosi zikhula kanjani la?
Yeah, I remember my friends in varsity mangidlula sigibele taxi sesiya endlini they would say mfana uthi ukhulele yi how did that even happen? Yeah. But I guess only people abakhulele Jozi can relate.
Sure. Yeah. How strong? Mfana mo dlulera.
Yeah. Uyamkhumbula uSkhokho?
Yeah.
Skoko,
yes.
Skoko then found out at a later stage because uSkhokho ke wahlala eJozi kancane but obviously sekakhulile. He then found out at a later stage ukuthi nami I mean, mina ngikhulele eJozi, not necessarily ukuthi ngihlale khona
Yeah.
njengoba naye
Yeah.
he was on the hustle. And then we know the same places. So uSkhoko, me and him would have these convos ukuthi, indawo so na so na
Yeah.
so. Hey, uyazi indawo bayibiza so. Hey, mfethu noSibanibani uyamazi. Mara labo.
It's the same people.
Yeah, but we could relate ngale life le.
But how rough was it at that time? Because I want to manje ngiyazi ukuthi for sure manje akuphile, you know.
Look, for me it wasn't rough because you know wonke umuntu in each and every single corner.
Yeah.
Yabo, lelo time lelo kuthiwa mhlambe lishaya i2 film kuyaqava.
Uyaqaba. And icava nabazali bakho.
Icava nabazali bakho
Okay.
outside a club or a tavern.
Yeah.
Because you know these things change.
Yeah.
Yabo, namhlanje uyafika iclub kusasa singena bo my friend for some weird reason. So for me I've always felt safe walking there, but it was ayinasigebengu. Basically what I'm trying to say is uthi nawe wena muntu wena uthi isigebengu it
Now, yeah, of course.
Yeah, so yeah.
So you moved to where? You moved to Tembisa.
Then we moved to Tembisa at the age of 15. This is when I was, my life literally was a 360 because I had to adapt from, you can imagine, from about BB was to a gas. You understand? But fair enough, because I was still quite young, so boys will be boys.
Yeah.
Then you meet them, then now it so happens they come from different walks of life.
Senihlangana
So bashayisa around eJozi, uhlangana nezakhe zaseJozi, nezaseJozi ezizekaya.
Yeah.
Then yeah.
Itringa siyaqhubeka.
Yaqhubeka
Yeah. But now when did you decide ukuthi okay yabona manje ngifuna ukungena manje ngifuna ukungena kulento because mina I know abanye bangena njengami nga community theater wena ungene kanjani?
Okay, so mina it was more at that time my parents, it was an extramural, yabo. It was mina kahle I had two dreams. Actor or ukudlala idisc.
Okay.
You understand? But mainly being focused at disc in me.
Yeah.
But today it makes sense why the disc route didn't work out for me because more than anything, acting in Spanish. So what Iole Lam did was she always wanted me to be busy. Maybe a background. My kulela I need to make something for him.
Yeah.
In the form of him being busy. So she not showing an agent but a professional kid. I don't know if it's still there today. But I'd like to think it is.
Yeah, it helped a lot of people. I remember TV about Byron were also part of professional kids.
So every Saturday they see her for my workshop.
Yeah.
And then one thing led to another. I'm a kika from I think the age of 9.
Wow.
Gradually, I did a few productions, a few internationals, locals, and then now I'm a local cool man. You're starting to find your feet on your own.
The first gig, my dad was born in TV. Yeah. But
so
see,
I played a younger version of Ukano, the famous soccer player.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, when disc. So yeah, put me brief with professional kids. There's this commercial. We want you to play younger version in Kano. And Kano was a famous soccer player back then. The name was Papino. So we shot it in Rustenburg. So Saisha, and then that was the first time where I was like, okay, sharp, no. What? Because doing what you love is exciting, but then now when it comes in the form of repayment, I don't need to now ask my parents, I really all star, my something, write something, why not everything? But no, I'm saving for you. It's like anyway, I'm getting what I want.
As long as I understand that's being.
So that's where the adrenaline and the excitement came from. Now we're not just doing what we love, we're getting paid. So from there one thing led to the next, and my gigs started rolling in. But remember, you're a kid, so you're doing it for fun.
When I go, it doesn't feel like work. I know exactly what you're
But we're having fun because we're different type of kids.
Yeah.
We must see a scaler, but then they'd fetch us from school, maybe transport us land, and then we suppose OT, and then we're happy.
Yeah.
You understand? Do you know I did YoTV for 6 months?
I didn't know that.
Did YoTV for 6 months, bang tata no gift.
Okay, yeah.
Bang tata no gift. Gift, and he stayed there for quite some time. But
why 6 months?
Okay. So how they auditioned us, and being such a professional kids, how they auditioned, they were looking for new faces of YoTV because now YoTV is not what it used to be anymore. You understand? So the producers have that pressure, man, we need to revamp this show.
Right.
Okay, Mnandi. So no Gifty, I've known no Gift from primary school, but then we went to the same high school, which is the National School of the Arts.
Yeah.
So ukutana kukhona la utantwana. Yeah, I was really proof of me. Brothers NSA must feel like a crack. Shabo has it, bro. Yeah.
And the veil in a chambiza, yo.
Such ambition,
You're
they need to
right,
feel
bro.
it. So they would audition us in pairs, and obviously me knowing, okay, if you would say Anton Singena seat.
Yeah.
So the chemistry for one, it worked out to time and legs.
That's fine.
But unfortunately, my strength isn't as much presenting than it is acting.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Like what I'm trying to say, Guti, it's not like I always, this is how I see life. In fact, if you're going to do something, even if I don't know it, give me goosebumps. If you're going to do the splits, I need to say, oh, wow, how
Yeah.
do you do the splits?
Yeah.
You know? But then if you're doing something, I'm like, okay, it's one of those,
Yeah, that's
then
it,
it's
like-
pointless. So I wouldn't move people in presenting.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. So that 6 months, it was me trying to figure this thing out, and then it didn't.
Much of the more lady with me,
No, I think she understood because Nabo, Mfetu, Abo, Bugnabo Banapaya, who's the guy who used to play Ziggy on backstage.
that guy.
That guy, yeah, he
Yeah.
was producer.
Yeah.
You understand? Abo, the late, what's the guy's name? He passed away. Anyway, he said,
Abo Akumzi, yeah,
Abo
Akumzi,
Akumzi, yeah, he
yeah,
was also
I
producer at that
remember
time.
Akumzi's
Yabo.
producing,
So he
yeah.
was trying to teach me with him to be patient. This is how you listen to the comms. This is how you take us to an ad break. Just relax in it. Yabo. I wanted to act more than being a presenter as being you.
And then present that.
Ngifuna ukuperform, man.
When you find what guy carry.
Yeah. So he was like, no, my guy. And he's so rest in peace.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was a very
rest
cool
in
guy.
peace,
But
that
yeah,
Kumza, he
but that
was.
was just my short time. 6 months, and I would come in like once in a while, so nobody really.
But did you enjoy it at some point or
I enjoyed it I hated every moment of it because of what it did to me. I felt like when I leave, it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
Yabo.
I should
Leaving
hate
a
that.
soccer match would leave a type of vibe.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
But today I thank what it taught me.
what did it teach you?
No, it just taught me to be much stronger because in life you need to have criticism.
Yeah.
Yabo. Because the next thing, if they're not telling you Iqini, so you're going now, you're spiraling out of
And
control.
you are qhubeka ngodoti.
Uyaqhubeka
Unokusha udoti all the way.
Yeah, but it's always nice bakutshela ukuthi amfana yabona ublind ngale sipande sakho, just stick to it. Yeah, then you have an era whereby now presenters want to become actors or actors want to become presenters. I nearly fell into that era yokuthi actors say for my present simply because you're an actor you feel like you can present. Ayisipani kanja.
Aish. And some people can do both.
Yeah, no. So definitely.
But
Oh,
you
no.
find-
we find
you
that
find
abanye
abanye-
nami that are idiots that just
It's not that
arrive
it is.
there. And
At the skin unjani bonzo.
bengimnandi bengidlala u6 yabo.
Oh nice.
Yeah, I was a defensive midfielder. I played not far from here, actually. I played for a club called Old Parktonian.
Okay.
Tonian Smarts. There's a Vegas school now in today's age, but then it wasn't.
Okay.
There. So ngidlali under 6 up until lesaskhathi lesamangchiefta ngekas. Because now Anglisho my school had your cricket, I went to Rosebank Primary, so I had your cricket, your soccer, athletics. NSA does not have sports at all. So I had to pick a struggle at the age of
Oh,
me.
yeah.
Because when you're in grade 7 and you're going to high school, the difference between that and any other school is that at NSA you audition. So I spent my entire time preparing to go to NSA,
Wow.
which doesn't have the extramurals that
So if you bought up a corner, you could have done both.
definitely. But it's almost impossible to do two things at once.
Especially when it comes to acting and soccer, because I'm a rehearsal and the practice is almost
At the same time. Yeah, well.
So also, because remember, I would do Masilela we used to work with and he
Yeah,
also
yeah.
played soccer
He did.
quite a bit,
He
to a
did.
point where he was close to professionalism. Remember that Lamatax and
Yeah, we had like tax, and then I think we got to injury.
Injury.
And that's unfortunately the painful part about the entertainment industry in that perspective. Because if you're an athlete, there's a certain lifestyle you need to live, and there's a certain physique that needs to allow you to excel in whatever you're doing. So, it means it's shy. But to go back to your point, he did soccer. He did acting.
That's why, but at that ukufa kwayo writing, he was able to
Yeah.
imali kwetolo.
Also, bekamculi. Umntwana
Ngawuntwana
bekamnandi.
bemnandi ngapha as a pop idol ne.
Yeah.
And then bekacula.
Bekacula naye apply.
Bekacula, no man.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, boy.
Yeah, man. So
Sisonke.
rest in peace, my king.
Manje ungena NSA audition, you are in there.
Audition yangena lapayana. Now I'm in grade 8. I'm seeing a different type of environment because NSA is almost very too artistic.
Yeah.
You're working around the school, mawuchike khoneni kunesayfa lapha khali beatbox, niggas are rapping.
Wow.
Uchika ngale, there's a boy on a flute, you understand? showing you his latest drawing. It's just artistic in that manner. It was like a Hollywood academy for us. For those abayile, they understand what I'm talking about. So there's 4 disciplines. There's dance, drama, music, and art. So your art, you'll obviously be dealing with art in every sense. It's handwork. Your pencil, long about blind, your HB, your sculptures, and stuff like that. You go into dance, ask no, you're speaking your contemporary. Ballet, you understand? So same with drama. So in drama, it's not just about acting, but then you also do the academic side of it. Or you're studying, going deep into theater. I want the history of it.
It helps a lot.
No, it does, because it adds color to your craft.
But it must have been nice. I mean, how school, as girls, when you went to normal school, from this biology, I'm not using it now. So how does it feel to have been able to study into eternal and those you know? And I'm sure we'll excel from watching you now.
So I'm academics, your normal sciences, and there is stuff like that.
Okay.
But then your main discipline is lento or is zele scale.
Biology.
No, definitely. I remember when I was in grade 10, I business studies, maths literacy, and what else? And biology was life sciences, which it's the same thing. So you do have your normal school day, but within your normal school day, you're going to do your discipline. So I fail at drama, you fail the year. No matter what to shine 90% in maths, you fail the year. Because you know what I mean? But also same applies to e-writing, the other side. So I was sitting in Pasai drama in that situation. My marks also need to be good. If I fail, maybe English.
Language.
English.
We all know. Language I fail.
You can't get away with that. And you can't fail like you math in another subject. You understand?
Okay.
And home language, for example, you need to repeat that.
But at least in time, was 50%. Didn't manage 30 now. You passed, ne? They bring it down.
Probably is 30 now. It's wonderful.
So you enjoyed your schooling?
No, I did, simply because it was a different school, and I was doing what I love, and it filtered through into my varsity years. So from grade 8, Ngashaya, 8, 9, 10, up until matriculated, and then immediately, today. She didn't allow me to have a gap year.
Wow.
Yeah. So immediately after my matric year, I jumped into university. Did my first year, second year, third year. So
where did you go to university?
I went to AFTA, Film and Television School. Yeah.
I'm finding now in Khalil
Hey, but it was tough, Mjali. It was tough because at some point I dropped out because the old lady only paid up for my first year and and then I had to drop out just like Angane Mangsakol. So that's where I went back again. I think I stayed was it a month or two? Then they make ends meet. To pay off my second year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then
and dad, but so
and then my final year is where I got a student loan. So listen to piece without being planned.
Not your right there. That's him.
True. Eventually I graduated. Through the grace of God, I graduated, and then I had to stop with third year. In fact, I didn't want to continue anymore. But since a crashing piece, you understand? Now I need to go do my honors. And no, I sang Spanish because also, I was smart enough for I remember I'm coming from NSA and I'm doing acting in Vele. You are forced in your first year, I think it's 3 years. Yeah. You're forced in your first year to do 4 disciplines. And then in your second year, you cut 2 of that 4.
Okay.
So Salane 2 in your second year. And then in your third year, you cut 1 of that 2.
So it's the main.
So Salane 1. Yeah. So go first day, I did about script writing because I had to choose something.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then they started falling off on Salane television production, acting. And the reason why I didn't want to graduate in acting is because I felt like this thing is my thing.
Yeah.
A calling is a calling.
Yeah.
No one can take that thing away from me.
I see this thing also within jail.
I see this thing, but then I'm going into the world having struggled so much financially coming from a family that's disadvantaged to say, "Bespatala about my 50-something K a year just because I want to show them that I've got a degree in acting," it doesn't make sense. So I dropped the acting, I graduated on television production, should things not go well as an actor, putting you behind the scenes, which still wouldn't happen because I mean, I'm sitting here today, I've never worked behind the scenes because I don't want to work behind the scenes. Like, I hate.
But at least you've got something to fall back on.
Yeah. That was the plan, fairly. Yeah, because I mean, walking around in a degree acting.
Why ungena behind the scenes?
Because it's not what brings peace to me. I always say acting for me is a calling.
Yeah.
You understand? Angeke ubhekisa ngoma uthi ungikhalile ukushaya amathambo uthi hey, it won't work out. Yabo kufuneka ube ubizo. No, you get what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so this thing is in me and I feel it's a way of me healing people's souls because if umuntu uyakwazi ukuhlangana namakhala inyembezi ethi ngifana yabona lesa storyline sakho
yeah.
I can relate because nami ngishonile ugogo from a childhood household. Then I'm like, okay, Yasin Ishmael, this thing that you're doing, my guy, it's for the people.
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah. And I might not take it seriously. I'm doing it ngendlela yokudlala and entertainment, but there's actually a guy out there who's going through the character that I'm playing.
But you've played a lot of characters. Like I can go on. Like what was your first acting proper gig before? Like what got to Phume Varsity?
My first, I have to say it's Rhythm City because Varsity, Temaipeli Varsity, I went back to Urban Brew Studios, by the way. Another thing I forgot to tell you. That's Angisho Petty degree in television production. Yeah. So I can now go and say, I'm going to sebenza now ngati best place. Ngoba ngingashayi 6 months da eUTV.
Let me start there.
Urban Brew.
Right.
Ngatholi span lapha yana. Angilastanga 3 months.
Why?
It's not my thing. It's not my thing. Ngifaka ku night shift ngene lapha yana nemqamelo nengubo maka check i-calls maka phumile uboss. Bong yala. Yabo, was it 5 a.m. ekuseni? Oh shit, okay. Akayenzanga ulele. Yabo. It's because I felt like I don't need to be here, but I mean, that was my first paycheck besides acting.
Yeah.
Which for me it was 8,000 rand a month. I was like, okay. So ngizogibela i-taxi every day.
Yeah.
And this is the life I want to live. No, let me just chase.
Then
Rhythm City came along. No, in fact, I attempted Iskim Sam because I had auditions for Iskim Sam, which is Iskim Sam is not going to be a series anymore. It's going to be a soapy. Okay. I went to Sasan in audition at Iskim Sam. Wow. You understand? It looked promising. Yeah, because I remember Uma Putla was like, mfana lento leyo ishaya njami ngiyayifika. Yeah, yabo. Kanti khona lapha within the vicinity yabona. They're looking for another character called Emmanuel, which is what I auditioned for, by the way.
Are you serious?
I didn't. In fact, Usabelo basically didn't exist. He was meant to.
But
When I auditioned for Emmanuel, I didn't get it because they said I looked older.
Yeah. But we want you for something.
But okay. Then this was like 2 weeks later. There's this character called Usabelo. He doesn't do much. He just comes in, he police, he leaves. Yeah. So that one opportunity, you're waiting. Emmanuel. Yeah. Then Emmanuel, no Sabelo bagcina seba yimpi. You know how the storyline starts.
I know, but I'm wowed at the fact that when I'm ingena Phuma, that's where it goes on to that because it's because now I was supposed to do 3 months there. And then missing Nyavai.
Oh yes, I remember
shots. But wait, it's not dead yet. We'll talk about it.
Absolutely, yeah.
So no, that was great. That because when Timo Figure Span was shy, his spans are kulumel.
Yes.
Unlike Abanyaban, this span was shy, Marabaya kulumel.
Thank you. Which for me it breaks my heart because that's where we find ourselves in the industry now. We are competing. Should I say I'm a socialite or should I say I'm an influencer?
Yeah.
I don't have anything against them. Trust you me, I don't, because I've got a lot of friends that do it.
True.
Right? I've got a problem with the fact that what we are doing feels very, very disrespected.
Very much.
Yeah, I understand it because, like I said, I see this as a calling.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna step into what I treasure so much, and just because of your numbers, at least put in the effort.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
they don't care just because they have the numbers. It's like even when you go to an audition, manje bakubuza number.
Yeah, on the audition form. Sekune space at TikTok, then it's followers. I'm like, but I don't. Social media.
It's not my thing.
It's not my thing. Yeah, so now you are forced to do content now and again. Apparently, just to keep the movement going.
Yeah, but that's when it comes to now this thing, you would see some have enough money and come from nice houses or whatever they don't have kids or whatever the story is. But by mind a clip a day, which is something you can't work like that. But because we're famous, baslimas.
Excuse me. Yeah, no, you can't. Yeah, but here's another thing. Yeah, fame
Yeah.
No, it's gonna spit you out.
It does.
It's going to do that because you are, number one, you're there for the wrong reasons. You understand? Now, years down the line, we've now got a Ishmael who not only is doing this because he's passionate about it, but he needs to pay for my bills.
Exactly.
When we are figure, when I was shyly famous.
Talking about fame, now Rhythm City. Also, you drove people crazy. You did your work.
Reason being Rhythm, thanks by the way. But reason being Rhythm City is a long format, and it's a soapy every day. So chances are people are gonna call you Sabelo. Then whatever other role you've played because ngale ushaye series yaphela.
Marila Sabelo
Uhlala lihleli because idlala every day.
So Kichimiswa Mantombazane, how was that?
Okay, so mina mangijimise before Rhythm.
Oh
You know,
man,
I'm kidding, my dog. Yo, funa mahanga ngula. No, what I'm basically trying to say is ukuthi mina into ye spotlight mtshali I've always had it. Whether it's for the good or the bad reasons escala. I was always le ntwana leya ehluphile one way or another. Wathi yabona le ntwana ese class man. Yabo. So the Rhythm City thing started to come in a positive way.
Okay.
Yeah, but because manje abantu sebanqoma ispan sakho esihle, not necessarily ispan sakho esibi or into bad or yensile. You understand? So your attention my logibuya also having an understanding partner is very, very important. Because akhona my fans that genuinely want to just hug you or genuinely just want to take a photo with you and then khona umuntu uzofika kudelele uvana umndeni. So it's about being smart. How do you handle it? And what support are you getting within handling it? Because khona umuntu uzofika kukwatise and then manje we expect ukuthi ube ubhesh oluzamanje. There was a situation in Seeponi kune after tears. Siyagawula kanti in the same area sekune after tears. So ngiyadla this guy comes and says shh ngicela isithombe ngitano ngiyazwakala ngisagawula mfethu ngicela isithombe sabza kanti manje kwenza so now he wants to play dialogue with me ukuthi ngathi sesiyalwa ngibona uthi ngiyagawula bro
Sabza.
Yabo no no sabza utshela ukuthi uslim ngathi okay yabona ke manje this is where I'm throwing my toys out of the cart because now I was hungry space. But whatever happened that day was history. So it's just about discipline. Ungawani bekumnandi. Bekumnandi ngalelo la.
I know. But all right, sometimes people they don't respect the personal space.
Yeah, remember they feel like they're obliged to ask for stuff like that because they see.
Every day.
Yeah, and they will born. So ufila ngathi uyakuowner because uown isikhathi sakhe already. She or he traditionally knows ukuthi ngapha 7 I'm tuning into you. So angeke umtshele next sekakubonile real life manje she might not or he might not see you again.
True.
So I'm gonna get this.
And then manje mele ngithole like it or not.
Mangamuphi isithombe uyaqhoba.
Yeah.
Yabona manje you see it becomes something else. But I've learned how I've mastered how to buringa nabo client like ngizoguys to myself. Ithi nje maybe I'm on a phone call. Think that ngizokunika yabo. I'm not feeling well vandag yabo. But that one never works because it's utaqini yabo.
You know, it was worse when I started bringing my pimples. So when you try to hide yourself, this lady at Southgate was done and I was wearing a white cap. What done that pop yo.
Not even asking.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
When I'm feeling more guys, man, just I'm only in my mom. I'm self-control
and having the right people around.
People don't understand sometimes good tidings. It's fine at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Moving on, I want to ask about the character holding a show in the young people. How did you prepare for that? Because you just became Nyaupe.
Oh no, mina you should see like njengoba ngitshela ukuthi ngisuke chose ngekhasi. The advantages about being ekhasi is ukuthi amachita sekhasi there's a Nyaupe guy in every corner.
Yeah.
There's no ways liyoshonilanga wena usekhasi ungambonanga. You understand? And because they admire lesipani lesesishayayo, you start it triggers you ukuthi okay right mangapromana le out lena almost like half a day. see ukuthi umherezo nokumbona dlula ngesaka mara ngimazi ulithathe kuphi uyenzani ngalo
and nahlala babhizi
and bahlala babhizi.
Yeah.
So then there's this guy Kaslami mfana, he's been smoking nyaupe for years mfana, like uyona ke yena he's nyaupe. So and he hot man by the way, but then he smoked it for so long that it's now in his blood. So ngangena emkhukwini wakhe and he started telling me how he started smoking. So yangitshela ukuthi there was this friend of his Basakula who went away for quite some time and then came back. Bajabule nibona bebasibhemela nje izolo. Then being naughty as boys wamrolela kanti umfakele inyawupe angazi yeah. So that's how he got hooked. Yeah,
abantwana bethu
you understand. So yeah, it just goes out to all the young men out there as well. And then you're starting to experience stuff like that. It becomes dangerous because it hinders you for the rest of your life.
And the worst thing, it was the first hit, and it's
yeah, it was his first hit in Nyaupe, but it wasn't his first hit in Zol.
No, I'm saying, that's what I'm saying, because our young kids, I just smoke Zol.
Yeah.
And the next thing with him doing scave, hours.
So I think she's only net down.
Yeah.
Think alcohol, mawuphuza utshwala uba nebhabhalazi depending on what your intake was. So lento leyana bathi fasa amathumbu. You understand? Like you literally feel like aya twistana la ngaphakathi. So the only way to think it is to get your next fix. And kancane is a perfect word.
Because they're always wanting more.
Yeah. So now it becomes an addiction whereby in fact it takes away so much from your life. Ukuthi mangasend nayo lento leyo kubhema mind ukuthi ungene endlini wallet mangekho umshayele maybe inyuke ephesini, it escalates to TV and whatnot and then it becomes worse. Yeah. So luckily yena he saw inkinga kanayo from the get go. Waqala ukushaya amajaride kasi. Iroom mina ngilakhe kase ngishile for intwana yami ifoundation ishawe kuyi.
Wow.
Yena yazibhanela uhlala phethe amathuluzi yena.
Uyazimarusankazi.
Yeah, yena plus uzokucela kahle uzothi ngicela mfethu ungithengele inyawupe ecala ngizibhemele mangicela ukubhema uzokushayela ijob and come mfethu na kanjani lothi lishona ilanga uzobe sekakushayela isibhamu.
Wow,
he's a hard worker.
That's the first positive Nyaupe story. I'm not saying Nyaupe is positive. Please, quote. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Ngikuza umuntu Nyaupe ukuthi wenza something ngazi ukuthi bayatshontsha nje.
And eKaslami uthembakele ke Brian. Like from wonke ama extension bayamazi ukuthi hayi because bathanda ini ngayi ukuthi akatshontshe. Ufika azospana and he's honest about it.
And akutshela ukuthi ngifuna.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hamba phethe amathuluzi. Yariki, a spade, you understand? And then he
and you're told how jobs.
No, you're at all. And usually they want him to abe grand instead of going out to Tayokama. At least alala kholi.
Yeah.
And that's just his life. So anyway, to answer your question, I spent a day in the life of his life studying him. I studied so many things, but the most important thing is studying how they talk.
Yeah, that's what that's.
You understand? Yeah. There's a pace to the words about wahlanganisa. You understand? It's got almost a staccato, almost one paced throughout until the end. But it comes in a creativity. So I was like, I sat there as a creative thinking, wow, this is so cool. Not that I want to go and do it, but how's about, you know?
Because you killed it.
Yeah. So makeup department comes into play, and then this is what I'm suggesting. But are you sure this is gonna work? I know what I saw. Yeah. Dirty my teeth, kancane. Obviously with the base that they put on your face is a bit dark. Then the rest is history. So my research is going to places. If I'm going to play a lawyer, I need to spend a day at court. Style sabo your honor, your worship, as the court pleases. Those basics make a lawyer. So there's basics that make that you need to understand, and then the rest is history.
You've played so many characters, Songo. I mean, would you? And I know I might be putting you under pressure. Just a wife did quite. So,
there's a movie I did called Expiry Date where I'm playing almost like a cheese boy. Yeah, my character speaks English. So the challenge now that you have is people have seen you on a soapy for so long.
Yeah.
You need to undress.
Keep
So with whatever you do in your walk, because walk is another thing I wanted to mention about walk.
Yes.
You understand? Trust you me, walk because if he's going to hustle for his next hit, he pays
Then Masaka Shai.
Yeah, then Masaka Shai. I got my no go, man, in the middle of nowhere. So Shai. But Maraya. yes, uzokushayela swing, chances are uchekile kancane, but he's moving, you understand? Yeah. So it's the same with the things that I had to undress for this character with expiry date. So for me, that was the most difficult role I've played because I'm more likely to be hired or cast rather as intwana yasekazi Peter Nyaupe or a gangster or whatever than someone who's living in an upmarket higher LSM. From Sand. So yeah, those are just the difficulties I face, but it comes with the job.
Is it because of the typecast of this kind of
yeah, I typecast yakbulala. Yeah, especially from a long Yamkumulupra Darlington.
Yeah.
May he so rest in peace. He played Papa G for years.
So long. Yeah, you're so right.
Mangape Umapantula, the movie. That 1985 movie called Umapantula. He's also playing something similar to that. Where he's pickpocketing in the street.
But also I think I also blame our if it didn't cast them, and I'm just saying. Sometimes you can't always like also give us that. You know, that character, Mfundis.
You're saying that now, but I'm going to be honest with you. For long form, it comes to you now because of the responsibilities you have as Umundom.
Yeah.
Not as that boy from UTV.
Yeah.
As Umundom.
Of course.
You understand?
Yeah.
You don't just have mouths to feed in every aspect.
Chances are and now but
the Ishmael that I am today, I'd rather go and do industrial theater. I've done quite a few before. Yeah, industrial is a thing.
For a while,
yeah, it was quiet.
Industrial TikTok.
I went to go perform for a corporate company. We were doing a Heineken commercial. I did it with Numandla Katuka. I don't know if you worked with him.
I never worked with him, but I know him, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was the first time I've ever seen or worked with him. He was an amazing talent as well. And it went quite well. What I like about that is that it's live. There's that audience adrenaline rush that you are feeling immediately.
That's one thing about theater.
And I'm not pressure. Hey, is he still on TV? Hey, why is he on TV? No. I'm doing what I love. But
and there's no pressure. That's the word. There's no pressure because if pressure is shy among I was Spani anywhere else, and I was born on TV.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a man who my keep.
Yeah, but
as if I'm about my keep. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's the pressure that we face. Being an artist, when I'm Charlie, I'm sorry, I'm just a bit emotional when it comes to my topic. So it's extremely difficult.
Yeah.
Unzima, because there's a lot that you go through as an individual that is pressured by whatever's happening because of what you do.
Yeah.
Because you're an actor, whatever you're going through is coming back to hinder you now.
That is so true. And it's and let's talk about how our industry does not. I mean, to say the money that you got
I'm sorry to say this, but the industry couldn't give a rat's toenail.
Yeah.
As we speak, manje, I don't know if Uzwile, and I'm sorry to go into this topic, but Umamnandi was trending for some weird reason.
Yeah,
right?
I saw that.
Then they misunderstood or they misinterpreted why is she trending. But please imagine I'm a comment, yeah, he's man famous, she didn't go out there and say R1 or whatever. The situation from a health point of view,
yes.
You understand, does not allow her anymore to be as flexible as she was. Yeah. I remember I'm a truth test.
Yeah, no, that's a
people that have done a lot for our industry. They come from protest theater where the industry was so different to what it was then and now. In fact, they had more power then than we have now because they could fight the government through protest theater.
True.
Do you understand? How are you fighting the government now? Does the government even care? Do you have a retirement fund?
I spoke about it the last time. But 2 pot. That's not in a single pot. We've got no pot.
You can't say that again.
So now they want to come and criticize my old lady.
And then you spend every single second, every single minute trying to entertain, which heals abantu, and they don't see it that way. Bona fame and everything that you do,
and that's true. Yeah. And they think it's just easy.
What we do heals. I remember, in fact, on the day when I last saw you, there's still Motweni no Sipondlo.
Yes.
Yeah, we were having this conversation and I started laughing. I don't know, I was EP production, so I'm listening to him going on about this production and his anger says, I think, and think about it, it actually is Demon Late. Do you understand?
It's the thing that you come out and you become something else.
You become something else.
That's the truth.
Yeah, well.
That's what I always say. I understand what the first rule of acting is don't act.
Yeah. Yeah.
So right now it's a calling.
It is.
But no, that was your difficult character, Leo, to Ushai.
Yeah, no, that one was difficult for me because now I'm coming from so many years of playing. It's it now becomes a norm. Like, I'm fundi script. I'm saying the story, not the script.
Yeah.
Saying the script I want is funde, and then I close the script, and then I'm going to do whatever I want to do. As long as I'm heading, as long as I'm heading to the direction layer, but from see storyline wise. How I get there, it's now me flowing. I'm a that a white person can never write for me. You understand? There's certain words that a white guy, if a white guy they can never translate in language as a guy.
No, gosh.
If it's a joke, it won't be funny in vernacular.
I always. Because sure, it's hilarious.
No, it is funny. and here's the thing, you even laugh about it. But most of your perform about it. It's joke here, we try. But you get the joke.
You get it because we have to go to Itoleganja. Madakasi doesn't make sense.
He's doing the same thing every day. Without fail or he's doing the same thing every day, but he's an entertainer. Mostly no problem.
Yeah.
You're gonna laugh. If you're having a bad day, he's gonna cure you. You understand? I'm having this conversation, no problem. I'm simple. I'm looking at him like, just because you can stand here and make us laugh doesn't mean I can give you a mic, for example, now and you go do whatever about Trevor Noah.
No.
Because now it's a different type of art. Yeah, well, now comes in comic timing, which is a different element. He knows what joke to say and when. And how is it funny at a specific time?
Yeah.
When are you going on the move?
That's
Hamber. So that one it's fixed. Yeah, well, it's got a script now. Like reality TV has a script.
Exactly.
People don't know that. Yeah, but
the reality is scripted. You know, it's like when you say because I'm comedy abantu abalacha if you're not funny.
No, they don't.
It's like
they just stand up and they walk out because you're wasting his cut side. So imagine now, so nabantu that are walking out when you're trying to crack jokes.
Have you ever had that thing in theater or perform in theater and some people walk out?
Nah, I mean, I've had a teacher who strongly believed in me, but Mr. Styley, Andile Styley. Yeah. I don't know where he is, and we were speaking about him the other day. That guy believed in me so much that whenever he feels which I'm giving him 90%, he would be more angry at me. He wants me to do more, like 110%. He's one of the people, in fact, that believed in me more than anybody when it comes to acting.
Always need someone to believe in, guys, because that's essential.
Yeah.
So
he would literally ridicule me. And you'd go home and you'd feel so bad. And little did I know he just wanted the best.
He knew you could give him more.
He knew I could give him more, and he knew he always told me not anything else.
Ish, you've done, like I say, about the wife, Koprizi. There's a lot. I wanna know about Ispan Mastingeko. How do you cope? Because these days, we were able to start over 10 years.
Yeah.
Now you shoot something for 3 weeks, and then you've got 3 months, 6 months of span. We've got things to pay for. I want to know about that stage because that's a hectic stage in every actor's life.
I think I touched on it a bit earlier, but you need to have the correct support structure. Like today, you are a family man. Yeah, well, imagine going through what you're going through. Your partner is not assisting you emotionally or in any other way. In fact, they're making it worse. Your life is a horror. You understand? You've got mouths to feed. Yeah. So you understand what you're not going to cope. So you need someone that's going to keep telling you no bad. nakanjani uzothi mawuvuka ekseni uzobona kuzolo, because that on its own gives you that extra gear to say actually you know what kuzolo. Unfortunately it can happen today uthole series mjani,
Yeah.
pays you very very well, but then after that series uhlale 2 years almost.
Oh, bafethu.
And then what they do with the series, sayibona iyavela lapha, hayi uvuyile umtshali mnandi bayisuse ngale one match bayilahla repeat.
So everyone keeps seeing you.
Everyone keeps seeing
But
you. But umnandi. But I mean, if you're not getting an income in that 2 years, what are you getting? Nothing.
Yeah. And they refuse to give us some chances on our royalties.
Yeah, that's the problem. The government is doing. I'm sorry to say, the government is. We're not protected by the government at all. You understand? It's unfortunate. I remember the other day, and I'm going to stop mentioning names just for safety purposes.
Yeah.
But then one of the people in parliament, or was it a minister, started to say, okay, because that artist you are so manje and we are trender, this money is going to come from my pockets. I'm going to send you money. We don't want that.
No.
We don't want that. We need a shield of some sort that's going to secure us, or which is simnandi in the future.
That's so true, because they must just it's the bill, bro.
It's the bill.
It's the bill.
We do not fall under a working class. Because they don't recognize you as working
People
class.
don't know that.
They recognize you as a freelance.
Yeah.
People don't know.
People don't know that. People are like,
Yeah,
it's bad.
It's bad. And then naleyo mali leyo series oyitholayo akwazi ukusave from yona. Sekukuningi okukhona.
Mayifika nanga inkinga
Iyaspana.
phezulu kwinkinga.
Yabo, iyaspana. And hey, mfethu, being an artist, I just almost wish ukuthi lento leyo wasn't something that you needed to live off of. For so many reasons, because there's things as fun about depression.
Yeah.
Depression is real,
It's
man.
real, yeah.
Yabona lento leyo ukuthi bazokutshela ukuthi hayiqina ubuyindoda abanga lawo. Because mina mayingidla lento leyo ngidla ngaphakathi one man.
Yeah.
Wena ukho.
Eish.
You don't know what I'm going through.
Can say that again.
You understand? Mangafonela umtshali manje ngithi mtshali ngicela 1000 ngiyazi makanayo uzonginika.
Yes.
But for the mere fact ukuthi akanayo kokubonisa ukuthi ku rough. You understand?
And if and makakutshela ukuthi akanayo, so uyazisola nokuthi engikhulumele.
Ukhulumele. So saba nokucela. So what you doing? Uyazicela ngaphakathi. Ama-answer mawaphuma awakusizi. You start doing things ngaphakathi awakusizi. This thing starts to bottle up, and you start doing the wrong things without noticing that you're doing
That's
the wrong
so true.
things. Yeah,
That's so
there's
true.
people who start to cut themselves. I don't condone it, but I'm saying it's because it's his way.
We are
It's a coping
frustrated.
mechanism to say this is how I'm dealing with my pain.
And what's so sad, you end up losing. I mean, we've lost a man artists like WHP and Bulali. That thing, it's a mental age, guys. Mental health is a serious
Isn't
thing.
it true that he played a pivotal role in Ukaspa Fest?
Very much.
Look at how well Ukaspa
Very
is
much.
doing.
And
And
the
it's
whole-
like
the whole of
his
Motswako.
guardian. And thank you. He's all, I don't know if I should call him a guardian or a mentor, whatever. Someone that he looked up to. Now, Boamela Vayas Trisha, because it's too late to say.
Because ngiyayibona support structure yasendlini, yes, ukhona. Mara maphumela estradini, mfethu, you get killed. And then Mexico into social media where you always ridiculed. Hey, lo, that thing, how did it make you feel about those RIP Usapila? And I don't know what's with that and people. Phela baba msendele, hey, if I hadn't spoken to this man, ngicishe ngakokota kini ngithi ngizoduduza, it's wrong.
Even mang anti phone, but how kanti uyaphila? Awu Spoki. What's up, Spock?
Ukhuluma noSpock.
Yeah, Spock yakhuluma. Mfethu mabakubulala usaphila nje, I'm sure there's more days for you to live.
Nah.
Yeah, things are happening for a reason. Angeke ngithi imhlolo royini, but it came out of nowhere. I don't even know ukuthi buyaphi. Why would someone on the same day ngasho?
Because I was like, what? Had I not spoken to you the day before, I'd be like, wow.
Yeah, you know, I'm not. I told you I'm not a socialite. I'm
Yeah.
a person on social media. I think I had like 16K followers on TikTok because I was forced to open these stuff. Yeah, but I'm not active on them.
Yeah.
But after Lento Leokshona,
You had to.
it just skyrocketed to like 40.
Oh, because uyakubulala kanti uyakuvuka.
Kanti uyakuvuka.
Oh, okay.
Angisho mase audition manje basibuza ukuthi sengisaba nokubhala no 16K because u16K kimi mncane. Had I started doing this thing, I could be well over like mama a million.
I know somebody always tells
understand?
me that if I had started in that one.
Mina, my Instagram handle, I've got like I think 37K followers.
Yeah.
I'm hardly active on that thing. Do you know who opened my account? Untando Duma. And untando duma is into yakhe. She's probably like on 2 million
Yeah, inabantu bayo.
So uthe makangivulela yona besiporekile esipanini and she was still in the mathe ngivulela into about Instagram ngithi bra I want to go do my lines. I want to go perform and I want to go home. Like, no, let me show you the stuff. This is Instagram. This is what you do. I'm like, okay, you know what? I just hardly looked at it. But if I had
followed up
on it, I'm going.
But is it fair that now we should be acting and marketing at the same time?
It's not. But unfortunately, we have to because now also Spum Charlie has a brand. So whatever brand, if you're going to go and open a restaurant, these numbers are going to help you. It's just unfortunate that it's a lifetime we're living in, and we need to go with the times. I remember the time I'm introduced to WhatsApp. I frustrated him because he didn't know what WhatsApp is. Now, meeting WhatsApp. I'm like, okay, but you tell if you WhatsApp. You understand? So we need to go with the times.
It helps.
When I was in varsity, my first year, I remember they would give us like pilots to go and shoot. And then they would tell us to go and shoot on my phones. We didn't understand why. Years later, I'm on Northern Cities. We're shooting with an iPhone. A whole scene.
Wow.
I mean, look at that. That's a phone.
There we are.
Today we're shooting with phones. Now understand, content is done with phones.
So it helped also. It helps rather to adapt because then they go to the time and those are done. You just have to go with the times, whether you like it or not. But yeah. But when's I know you got daughters.
Yeah.
How's that going?
Man, I'm enjoying every moment of it. I'm enjoying every moment of it because I'm teaching myself how to love a female better than I've ever loved a female. Because also masikaphuma ezandleni zami uzofuna uthando ngaphandle because akalitholanga lima bhayizisela. Mina my daughters, even the oldest one, she knows. Mangihlala naye I kiss you on the lips.
Yep.
Yeah. Until angazi masoshadile yawo uzongitshela. I'm your daddy, girl. Shit. I'm your daddy.
Come here, bring those lips.
But where I'm going to with this whole thing is that I'm trying to spread love. They understand. They grow, they become teenagers, they start becoming a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Daddy, you can't kiss me in front of my friends.
Yeah.
I'm like, need time allow. But what I'm doing there is that I'm trying to show you I'm here for you should you need anything.
All the time,
Yeah. You can always go and gain them on your own or get them on your own. You don't need another man to support you in getting it.
And it's as Wrongful because reasons why girls back then end up sleeping around is because they're looking for fathers in every guy because much is just lazy. So well done too.
Thank you, my king.
And that's a good one. That's a good one. So it's nice to have daughters.
No, it's amazing. And there's also a difference between ingane intombazane ekhuliswe ubaba nengane engakhuliswa ngobaba.
Yeah.
There's a huge difference. I mean, umbona ngisho nesekakhulile ukuthi okay lana there's a role that was played lapha. You understand? So we need to fill the gap, Mjad.
Yeah. You're right. It's just that and we need to pray that bakhula ngendlela sibakhulise ngayo because
look, that's worst case scenario because ingane mawushiye umdrop esigele utha esikoleni, you don't know ukuthi usala yenzani.
That's the thing.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. But then there needs to be something that you do that at least meets them halfway in becoming the person that they're going to become one day.
Yeah. Subscribe on Happy Days on podcast. No Spum Mjani silila isakhumza yazini mafethu it is positive nemasibuya konke ngifuna ukuthi sasitshele ngayo konke ayenzile mara uyayifihla I hope uzositshela. We'll be right back.
The buzz of the city is what inspires art.
Yengithi umshanga phakathi wena umshanga phakathi uthando lwethu ngeke liphele lihlula abathakathi namhlanje anniversary yiso leso sikhathi wanqoma ngalelanga celebrate senze party ngithi umshanga phakathi wena umshanga phakathi uthando lwethu ngeke liphele lihlula abathakathi namhlanje anniversary yiso leso sikhathi wanqoma ngalelanga celebrate senze party ila ma LOVE yini medium sisivalele sokhonchini we are celebrating ibili boxe champagne kuma candle lighting nama flower twele phansi we are reminiscing sahlangane robothini uceda kwehle taxini usindo ama plastic ngijumpisa extracting ngathi ngicela ukuphathisa ngijikele gating ngikama ngufusion ngiphumalane lokushini when one sees the rest was history manje siphila something amathi
you're back on Happy Days on podcast no Spum Mjani ngiphethe uIsh Songo. Hey bafethu, this guy comes from far mara azimfana ngaqala ukubona umuntu oshaya isingami la mara abe nelukatsotsi njengakho.
My guy. No, I get this a lot.
Yeah.
And to a point where I'm used to it. Sometimes in a must bomb.
Yeah.
Get into an environment where you're singam and then just don't say a single word.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm about cool man, I'm shy this logish sam. Then lang things vundula corner. Because I mean, why should your vocab or your intelligence or whatever it is, or the way you speak, need to match the way you look? You understand? It has nothing to do with it at all.
And I always tell people ukuthi ukwazi ukukhuluma isingam la kusho ukuhlakaniphile. Babhaya abantu abangakwazi ukukhuluma isingam la mara bantswemu.
Yeah.
Mara wena uyasilimaza esikhafuni.
Yeah, no, umfethu yabona benginenhlanhla ukuthi abazali bami they took me to good schools. You understand? Whether they're still good today or not, but I just personally feel ukuthi during that time, if you can take me to a multiracial school, I would indima ezungamla because then, I mean, you know, you are privileged.
Yeah,
you
true.
Understand? You are privileged to be one out of a few black people amongst laba abanye abakhona abamakhalata amakula and white people. You understand? Ukhona omunye umuntu ogcina sekayofunda eKasi angafuni ukufunda eKasi but because of the situation. Not that ikolo zaseKasi is better, no. Uyakwazi ukusuka eKasi ube mnandi.
I mean, I find that most uzinxusi esingamleni eKasi ushaya language.
Yes.
Yeah, ngoba if la kunesizulu it's compulsory or esigele samatsonga kunesitsonga it's compulsory.
Yeah.
Samshaya.
Wena
ushaya ukuthi uyejele boyofunana jele.
No man. Yabona as you grow up, there's certain incidents which actually helped me a lot. There's certain incidents that happen, unforeseen incidents that happen. But years later you're like, Yazin, I had to experience that.
Yeah, what happened?
Okay. Before I explain what happened, anything can happen to anyone.
Yep.
You understand? Spanisa Chup as example, he had an incident. He owned up to it. Ugcine manje azithola asendaweni where he wouldn't have expected. And by the way, ngizwa ukuthi ugeleze NSA years before me.
Wow.
Yabo? So would you expecting NSA ukuthola
That's why ngithe ngizojela sizozwa ngawo.
Yeah.
Because it can happen to anyone like you said.
Yeah, so to cut a long story short, I was wrongfully accused when I was 19 on the 16th of December. Yabo? So with being wrongfully accused, into yakhona bengathi yaphela lapha ya. Enazange yaphela. You understand? So lamakhotman avuthiwe ukuthi bayofuna apparently kunentwana ezi3 ezibambe inkunzi eKasi. eKasi lami intwana ezidumile ukuthi zi3 hayi ezibambe inkunzi ezi3 yithi yimi enyathamba to Saka no given washo. You understand?
Yeah.
So mase bayovutha lamakhotman ukuthi ayo find out almost like inama CPF lezi
yeah.
Which is you find out ukuthi abobani intwana lezi yabo. The first person that came to their minds was Diamond, but there's only 3 intwana ezi3 like that. So while they are interrogating lapana don't marafra for Diamond in Sanringaniva. And then not vele we are young and wild. And at that time this is way before rhythm.
Yeah.
You understand? So whatever I'm doing just living on the verge.
Yeah.
You understand? So okay, but qale bathole mina so funa le awusiyama uSaka masifika uSaka plus by the way he's running towards me, he's happy to see me. It's the 16th of December. Akazi ukuthi uyabona abantu la uthe makafika but yes now next obomuntu sathi awubloma le enzansi siye lapha yana untwana masifika lapha I would never forget bekahlanzile all over the floor because he was intoxicated.
Yeah.
But we 16 zakadize.
Yeah. And excitement young people.
It's in the evening. Yeah,
no.
So Gohanjwa, I'm also not going to mention his name, but he's in the industry.
Yeah.
Umuntu obanjwe inkunzi is in the industry. But he does something different to what we do.
Okay.
So at that time he didn't know me. So bayambuza, are you sure he's on? Because there's 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially law. Akombe le outam le LLA block. Ila ngone khona sikho le story less. At what point was this guy going to do this ngoba ngiyambona
njalo.
And nina ngiqeda ukuthi lento iqeda kwenzakala.
Mara lemuntu sayazihlanzela already. There's no
Kugcwele umhlanzo la ngaphansi. No understand? So me that's where I started getting a bit agitated. It's okay as in mafethu. Vano biza bokhanda. Since well nithi nina kunento engiyenzile or esiyenzile plus nikhomba mina firstly yabo nalezi zami sezinkwatele by the way because they like Joe silethela
labantu ngathi manje usnitch
so okay shabu it's the 16th of December ayidlule it kind of fades yabo ya fade right there mfethu yafa like literally kanti uyazi mfethu esikhathe ngoDecember basebenzi kangaka basilande following year nge-11 zaka-January nge-Wednesday ngo-1 o'clock in the fucking morning. What?
Nilele. Ngathi nama criminal serious ngilanda ngo-1 ekuseni.
Bengakashayi nokushaya iroom ekhasi ngisala lapha phakathi endlini ngilele ekamereni lami ngaphakathi.
Yo,
Ngizwe ngomnyango. Kulu. Lafu keep spam. Yabona? I'm like what? Yabo, angisho septowini. Mara sengahlephukelwa kancane kancane ukuthi uyile ndaba leya ngidini. Yabo? Sengidonselwa kuphi ngaphandle evening. Okay, ngicela ugqoke ijacket. Hey, ugqoke ijacket. Sengigqokiswa amateki khona lapho rough. Already nalo lithukile lazi kwenza. Because oh by the way, this whole thing yenzakala abazali abazi. And I don't feel the need ukuthi gamele bazi because it's bogus.
uthi phelile futhi.
Iphelile, yabo. Show I don't know mawulethe uDiamond wenzakala ngale outilena skippani. So now umzali now is starting to think ukuthi but maybe this could be possible because musona uhlala ungekho endlini. And why are the policemen here? Yabo, but now
and bafuna wena straight.
Yeah, but umzali being umzali uzokuprotecta umngakubo but she still doesn't know ukuthi wenzakala. Siphume masingene evenini. Baqale ngogiven so they did it the other way around.
The time they came.
Baqale ngami nge-16. Manje baqale ngogiven. Engalugiven umaboko bokushayile.
Wamshayile?
Ukhumbule mfethu kufuna ispam mina makuyispam
and I know makuthiwa vast fear happen
abafuna ispam
ugcina usikhipha unganaso
no uzosho ukuthi sikhona endaweni so singekho just ufuna ukuthi bakuphumuze
is that trapa le
bazokudona
yeah
ngingambeka ugiven ufaka ama handcuffs lapha yana umaboko boko ngithi yo Ishmael uzoba sona futhi nawe bazokushaya into yabona hayi okay luckily enough usaka ka promise starting sami silandele ngosaka ngilahlelwe evening usaka naye same thing leyabangenze yona lapha yana keep saya so ikaslami local police station seraba reach when we reach they go to one of the biggest police stations. One of them is Ivory Kuserabasu.
Okay.
Yeah, so angisho uzolala ngala and then makususo hlangana nabanye ababhayana and then from there senior court which is the bigger police station. So on that Wednesday, bangane ngo-1 o'clock ekuseni, it's now Thursday. Yabo? But Thursday ngomele ngilala kuphi Ivory which is the second one.
Yeah.
So I'm just so impatient, but I just so want to go to court because ngale scaling now, so I just so want to go and speak my mind. Which like judge, what the fuck? Why would I? You know? Like come on now, you know? So is it Thursday? Is it second year? Is it Friday? It's your court. It's the happiest day of my life. To me. So I feel like in court, no feel like in court, I'm gonna sign in. The now court, judge wakona, basically you guys want to remain in custody, 7-day bail application. So according to the law, because the colony pampa, you need to go.
Yeah. Fast the fear of
further investigation. Oh, ngani, this is now me living like nothing a poop. Because I I'd never be finding myself on the wrong side of the law. Because I'm not that guy.
7 days is a long time.
But now when you're 19 at that time you fall under juvenile because 21 and younger ungena khona juvenile. I don't know now ukuthi ime kanjani. I see a value. Phakathi kwekumba zithi Motapi prison. 7 days was like 7 years. Yeah. Because you're living a different lifestyle. Udla breakfast ekuseni umuntu ogijima ngathi lamanzi and then uzodla ngo2 which is supposed to be lunch but that's your dinner and you're not going to eat again. Ngo2 seqinile so last meal udle ekuseni wadla ngo2 seqinile.
I'm sure ngibothola amabhesuku wangathola amabhesuku.
No ibhesuku besithola but here's the thing I didn't want my parents to come and visit me. I didn't want to feel like a mama's boy because now I'm in this situation. Fuck, if it means I need to survive while I'm too sly, let me do that. But mphethe ubani ugiven naye ukuphuma phandle silo. So he's like, you know what? Izinto zethu. Thina besidla ipaloni emotape. Ipaloni is like eating pizza.
Nito papa.
Yabo? No baby. So shoot abazali ama families wethu bebahlangana ngaphandle. Bahlanganise something masilethele, yabo. So thina leso sikhathi masiqeda ukuthi 2 last meal. Ngasigijima silanda abo 5 anisikulambile veve. So what happens in any other prison setup, and I'm speaking specifically about the Imotapi, isinkwa siyabuya from a top floor. Kona bo choose ngale nabo yabo abasavile so setla ngentambo. Ulama sela le phezulu siyayex. Understand? Ngentambo uyasdonsa. Iphatha ke bazokunika ngani. Iphatha vele into ekhona phatha baloni mnandi yisothe. You understand? It's stuff like that. One out of many things that made me realize futhi fuck that's a different world. But you know what that experience taught me? on Rhythm City is the time la aboshwa khona.
Yeah,
You understand?
that's when you're playing in the number.
So now I'm playing what I experienced there.
And both shy.
I had to because manje ngiphethe noMazolo Ntombela
Yeah.
who has been incarcerated before, but he's playing with chicken on Rhythm City,
Yeah,
and he's willing ukuthi sihlale phansi sibonisa. I remember, I don't know if uKhotman uMavuso, because his storylines is shooting abomdu.
Yeah.
Umabazo. UKhotman uMavuso, I don't know. Oh yeah, he was working on Rhythm, but he wasn't same storyline.
Yeah.
Yet. But he would come in the storyline say too and come and sit down
Just
because
watch.
kunelinye iKhotmani who they had requested with Abuye.
Yeah.
Or 10 years Khosimampu. I don't know if relationship yakhe nabo ime kanjani. But he came through to kind of teach us in life ukuthi eyasejele kunjani.
Yeah, because nilimazile that.
Yeah, man,
those scenes were
kanje. It was like a whole workshop because we would sing, and you know we said bayibulela bomathi.
Yeah. I know, no, that department killed it.
Ibulele.
But wait, la ngaphakathi ukuthi ufunda inombolo thithi niskime bani ukuthi ufunda inombolo while
You mean emotapi or
emotapi?
No, okay, no. So
in the 7 days.
So inombolo yasikhethela ukuthi ayithatha.
Yeah.
What are we taught?
Or it's not a forced thing.
No, it's not a forced thing. When you as kete, you understand. If you want to be protected in whatever way, when also touch nombolo, you feel okay, I'm up a suka watoli, then they put you under immediate to your call. You are landed by 26, 28, or after or whatever. So this is a language that you cannot run away from because we use kunaranga parat from a court. I mean, from a police station.
Yeah.
A court get worse because he like zongi boshwa. You understand? Khuluma yona. Abachoose bakho mhlambe ubagcine mhlambe banchanga ngedraft abanye babuya kwelinye ijele kuphi. That's the only form of language that you guys know. So with me the advantage that I have is ukuthi because ngikhulele estradeni.
Yeah.
You understand? Intwana zasekhasi zayishaya mildly la ngaphandle.
Yeah.
So I know what certain words mean.
Yeah.
You understand? Not to its entirety, but I know what certain words mean. You understand? For instance, makazuthi kusenja msabza ngishaying number 3. I know what number 3 is.
Yeah.
You understand? So it's that language that I'm starting to now pick up even more on lapho ngaphakathi. Oh, so this is what abanye futhi bayastukiwa khona lapha sebaqeda ukumchasha uyi26 manje sowamela funda inombolo uthi isebenza kanjani. You understand? But remember, I'm not trying to be there.
Yeah, you wena ufuna ukuphuma.
Mina ngifuna ukuphuma.
Hey.
So unfortunately a week later basibuyisele futhi emota.
Wait, manibuyela.
But a further investigation, I should remember 7-day bail application. But showing Friday and then the following Friday was still the same thing. Uti no.
Further investigation.
Yeah. Because apparently during that time when he was a witness. So he knows labo bantu la. So we are yet to see what Lindona le izokwazi usikhomba or not. But we're hearing this from the inside. Yeah, I understand. Oh, okay, sharp. Then second week, yeah. But unfortunately after that it doesn't mean ukuthi icala lakho seliphelile. Usathenda icourt mara uthola ngapha uyathanela ngaphandle ngoba unebheki. I think because it was a January thing, see, it was wiped out in July.
Yeah.
So they would give us the next court date.
Logo
Our choice. Then there's this one day where Given didn't come, he came late. And you know what that means? That means we could go back again. So man, this nigga.
That's Nico serious.
Oh my God. You arrived, dog. But no,
it's not nice. No, it's not nice.
It's not nice, but you can imagine what one night in a cell is like, and then you can imagine when you're in that setup whereby you are wrongfully accused and now you're into yenzile. But what I'm trying to say, Lana, as weird as it sounds, it was a blessing in the sky.
Yeah.
Because it opened up my eyes.
Was Zilugu into something else instead of going back?
Instead of going back. Because there's people who get incarcerated wrongfully and then Mabapuma, they become those.
Thank you. I was about to go there.
They're angry at
what's the point?
Yeah.
So
why not?
Go do something.
Yeah. And you want to look at the unemployment rate. Zipa Intone's call. I remember when Intone, I felt so sorry for him. Initially, Mangbosha
Yeah.
I really loved that jacket. I could turn it inside out. It had Nike on both sides, but it was a winter jacket. It was this big. So, intanga yami yeniboshelwe i-rape. Yabo, i-rape yaseKaslam because remember ithembisa inkulu.
Yeah.
So makangitshela ukuthi endaweni esebathi kaMasilo bekunendawo bathi kaMasilo. Opposite kunelinye idladla yabo. Ujola nenye insayiza lapha ya. So it so happened ukuthi maka bazitshontsha bona. Abazalise babuyile, bafika bathola lentwana le then they put pressure on this chick.
Okay, ukuthi umrape.
Yeah, umrape.
End
And
of story.
bavumelene, yabona. So, yantwana le the way he looked. Angazi bekangisasho kanjani because nale kibenge ngale mfana they can tell you right now ukuthi mfana yazini. When you are everything in life. You understand? And he wants to get whatever he wants to get. But it was genuine because angisho man lapha yane off court icala uyazi ukuthi lo bampostpone up until nini and icala lakhe ubhekane nayo untwana vele washo ukuthi mina mfana ngisabuye anytime soon sure angisabuyi licala lami dala ngitrial it doesn't know any intwana yami I'm like man they took away this guy's youth so on that thing ngavela ngakhipha ijacket because mina sengipopile ngilile ngahamba ngamgaya I mean what's a jacket yabo uzobona naye ukuthi ayibhayisa or wenzani but yeah crazy time
no but I'm glad that there was that's why ngithi bengifuna ukuzwa mangithi khona yenzile mina sitshela ndwana What would you like to say to a lot of people, a lot of young people that want to get into this industry? Some talented, some not. What do you want to say, especially the ones that are getting it through influencing, because by a hand? I want you to give them both advice.
Okay, I'm calling about influencing because to be honest, I've never received. And your question is a great question, by the way, Mchai. Angazi ngathula question kanje mara ngizoqala ngale ama-influencer if you're influencer mina ngithi qhubeka nge-influencing yakho ungayiyeki if you do get a gig acting ihambe uyishaya because it's a side gig kuwe you understand you don't know which chances are you might not act for as long as you think you are maybe it was a once off thing bakuthathe ngoba ama-following wakho awukuthi nokuthi so I mean ungayinqabi imali if it comes your way I mean why not yabo but then don't take that opportunity and now use it in a sense of which now you feel like you know what acting is about to a point whereby you're disrespecting the craft as a whole. We understand. So Tata Ngoba now you're an influencer and you can do whatever you want within the acting fraternity. It just does not make sense. You understand? True. Because now you are killing an industry on its own. There needs to be art, there needs to be color, there needs to be texture. We need to look at what you're doing and say, wow, that was so true. That was out of this world. I understand. But then, if you are just doing it because, oh no, I'm on my phone, I've just learned my lines, right? I just did that gig and then it just doesn't make sense. But to any other young man or female who wants to do this from the bottom of their hearts and they really want to be thespians and they see themselves doing this for the rest of their lives, do not give up.
Yes.
But my advice, if you're in your prime, even if you save as small as 200 rand, it goes kuzokusiza because if you mean Masimba in one way or another, it makes you feel like you've made it.
Yeah.
Can't you fall from it?
Hey!
You haven't made it. You haven't made it. There's people who become Abu President at the age of 70, Abang at the age of 55. That's trying to show you who don't get So immediately when you feel like you're in your prime and things are going well for you, say, I got a phone call from your old mutual. Only lambing force to save him. Angitshela ukuthi mfethu mina ngizothumela usibani bana kufonela osebenza ebank yabaza mama bayakhuluma mzala na usebenza eFNB dlale ingane yami ngiyayazi njani ngemali ngicela umfonele wena umtshele ukuthi usebenza kuphi so then I invested lapha yana ngilahlela imali encane every month angithi angiyiboni iyaqloga monthly and then I got a phone calling ngasaspani ukuthi we spawn one from Omisho ngithi what you guys want ngitine kithi kodwa kunemali enga19k la ilahlile yakho you want ngathi hey ngamali Ishmael Songo right yes you've been with us from whatever yang sisabagani his ne file and then you start to realize oh yeah so the money was accumulating. I think from the old mutual what I didn't get was imali's a funeral cover because that apparently it lapsed or something they're trying to reach out to you and I'll you're not no by its heart but that one was more of a what do you call it? It was more like a private loan account. Yeah, when it's mine, whether I'm still following up on it or not, I can then choose with Nyailanda or not. So my advice to any young artist, when things are popping, save the little that you have. It's succeed in the long run.
Because they popping and then they start crapping, and when they crap for a while.
Yeah, and no one calls Luktandas. I'm a God-fearing man, man.
That's it.
I don't think I'd be here. I'm
If it wasn't for him.
If I was uthi nami ngishayile 2 seconds yami bongumdali ngidazini. And awumbongi in the sense ukuthi uNkulunkulu ngicela umsebenzi. That doesn't work. Mbongi ngawonke akakwenzeleko.
Gonke, yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
The trials and tribulations gone.
Things don't come in the form of Hispanic pear. Do you understand? Izinto ziyavela la esayidini in different manners, and then I mean I've created relationships, I've had bonds whereby umuntu ngibizela igig athi mfana hayi ukuthi ngiyakudisrespect ne naku enginawo. Years later, the amount of money mangithi ngiyayicalculate that akangiphe yona is way more than what I wanted at that time. If ungaye 5 rand manje, he's been giving me ama 10 rand, 15 rand. Angithe ukulalela mfana kune business evuliwe ngale. Na business partner yami.
Ash.
With the talent that you have, how's about you go and endorse for them? Shy 3-month contract nyana. And then you realize, okay, ngoba bengafuni kushaya yakhe kube nguphi fanda. So prepare to spread your wings, do as much as you can. Isikhathi sisakuvumela because like you know ukuthi asina retirement fund.
Yeah.
This could be a retirement fund. Yeah. Wow. And I hope I'm making sense.
Yeah. Where to from here? So bonaphi manje ish.
Okay, obviously you know my 9 to 5 is acting.
Yeah.
I understand, but definitely what I want to do, what I want to go into now is business. Business in the form of ukuthi when I do open up a company, something as small as something that is a necessity in a human's life, for instance, don't underestimate amakota.
Yeah.
Where I live, kuscarce to ngathola ikota. But nangizovula ikota la ngihlala khona, I'm the only person ovula ikota la ngihlala khona. Angisho ukuthi bakhona abanganayo or bakhona abangayicabangi, but I'm trying to look at it in a sense ukuthi it's going to sustain me. Should things not go well for you acting, because we've got an on and off season. Then inento engaziyo. I mean, look at car wash. I'm thinking about that as well. You know, which better person to open a car wash than Ipansula?
So let's work. I'm for your time. Guys, it's always a good day to have a happy day right here on the Happy Days on podcast. And so ivala nje kahle ngoba sikhuluma ngoJehova sithi asihambi ngokubona, sihamba ngokukholwa. Amen.
Subscribe and become a member of the biggest family, the Happy Days on podcast family.